So with WrestleMania 34 happening this weekend, I figured I'd give you guys a little prediction videos and also give you my thoughts on each of the matches and the show in general. Comment down below letting me know if you're watching this year's WrestleMania, if you're looking forward to it, and give me some of your match predictions. Also, let me know which matches you're looking forward to the most. First, in the Women's Battle Royal match, I think the best thing going for it is the Sasha Banks and Bayley storyline. This is something for me that's been drawn out way too long. This should have happened more towards SummerSlam. It's just kind of been dragging and dragging and dragging. But they finally did resolve it a couple weeks ago. I thought that they would have their one-on-one match at this year's WrestleMania. Kind of disappointed that they didn't, but I get it, being that there's so many matches on this card already, and they didn't just want to throw it in there. I'm sure they'll have their match down the line, probably next month's pay-per-view or something like that. In this match, you have four favorites, in my opinion. You have Sasha Banks, you have Bayley, you have Naomi, and you have Becky Lynch. Now, Sasha Banks and Bayley, in my opinion, I think they could either both eliminate themselves or be the last two girls standing. In the case of them eliminating themselves, I see either Naomi or Becky Lynch winning. Being that I want to predict this though, I'd probably go with Sasha Banks winning this. I think they want to further that storyline. If Sasha Banks is going to turn heel, I believe this would be really good for her to brag about, her bragging that she won the first ever Women's Battle Royal. Onto the Men's Battle Royal, which is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Not really looking forward to this. The past couple years, each winner, they just show you they're not really going to do anything with them. In my hopes that they do something with them, or at least utilize who they have in the match, I am going for Matt Hardy here. I believe his broken character hasn't been really utilized too well. They utilized him well within the past couple weeks with the whole Bray Wyatt match and the Ultimate Deletion. But going from here, I'm kind of interested to see what they do with him. I believe this would be a big spot for him. And it being that he's not on the main show, which I wish he would have been in some sort of capacity, I think he'll be winning this, be able to get a nice pop, and be able to get a nice pop from the crowd. If Matt Hardy doesn't win, I can honestly see Dolph Ziggler winning just because he has nothing else to do. I know that they just re-signed him to that big contract, so this would be something that they just kind of throw in there for him. But unfortunately, I don't really see them doing anything with him after the fact. The Cruiserweight Championship match between Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander should be pretty good. I myself don't watch too much 205 Live. I do watch all the clips that come on YouTube. I know ever since Drake Maverick took over as commissioner, things have gotten a little more interesting, and also with Triple H taking control, that's made things a lot more interesting. I've seen Buddy Murphy get added to 205 Live. And I don't know, 205 Live with this reboot, I believe they're on the right track. I believe they're kind of promoting more so wrestling than stories, which for some people is a negative. Me, myself, I like it. It's kind of like NXT, even though NXT obviously is on a higher level than the Cruiserweights right now. But regarding this match, I'm leaning more towards Mustafa Ali. I saw a promo he did the other day. It was on WWE's YouTube channel, and man, it was great. It was a really good promo. Part of me was thinking Cedric Alexander due to the fact that he hasn't won the Cruiserweight title yet and he's always been on that cusp. But I believe it would be a really cool moment for Mustafa Ali to win with his 450 splash. Since that's an awesome move, I see the crowd really popping for that, and I think it'd just be a really great moment for him. Now to the main card. These are the confirmed matches for the WrestleMania 34 card. I'm going to start it off with the tag team title match, that being the SmackDown tag team title match, which is the triple threat between the Bludgeon Brothers, the Usos, and the New Day. It's really interesting to see how this story has progressed. I think it progressed really well, especially last month at Fastlane with the Bludgeon Brothers just completely demolishing the Usos and the New Day. I see this being built up as the Bludgeon Brothers winning, without a doubt. I can see them being a big-time heel tag team on SmackDown, having those championships until a team is able to muster up a victory against them and take those tag team titles away. Now for the Raw tag team titles, you have The Bar, Cesaro, and Sheamus taking on Braun Strowman and a mystery partner. This whole mystery partner thing is really interesting. I know Vince McMahon and WWE, they love to have those WrestleMania moments, and they love to have those surprises. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a old wrestler, or not an old wrestler, but a wrestler from the past come out and be Braun Strowman's partner, whether that be Rey Mysterio, which is something I've heard. A deep fear of mine is it being Big Show or Big Cass just because they want to pair two tall people together. While this match is something that I'm looking forward to and seeing who Braun Strowman's partner is, I do feel like it's kind of a step down for Braun Strowman considering the year that he has had with his matches with Roman Reigns, his matches against Brock Lesnar. I mean, this guy was the best thing on Raw for over the past year, or at least 2017 coming into 2018. And for him to be in a tag team match at WrestleMania is kind of disappointing. I would have loved to see him in a big feud, a big singles feud, or at least be in the Intercontinental title picture. But for him to be in the tag team picture, it kind of, I don't know. While I'm not against it completely, it kind of is a step down to where Braun Strowman was and to where he was ascending. He was ascending to the top of the card. He was at the top of the card. But now he's more so in the mid-card tag team scene. And I believe he deserves much more than that, especially considering how much he has done this past year. Now for the mid-card title matches. First we have the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz, Seth Rollins, and Finn Balor. Now this match should be a great one. The story I honestly have not been too invested into, even though I love all three of these guys. The Miz is such a great heel. Congratulations to him to having his baby with Maurice. But The Miz is just such a great heel. Part of me wishes that he also would move up to the top of the card. I believe he has the charisma, he has the mic skills, and he has the character for it to go back up into that main title scene. I don't necessarily see it happening. I think they love him being in that mid-card, higher mid-card spot, but he has the talent and the skill to be on the top of the card. As for Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, these are two great wrestlers, two guys that just 2 years ago competed for the Universal Championship. These two guys are both great, and over the past year, I'd say have really underachieved. It's not their fault, it's more so booking. They just haven't been booked that well. You have Finn Balor, who is in that really long and terrible feud with Bray Wyatt. You have Seth Rollins, who just kind of floated around with Samoa Joe. He also had a feud with Bray Wyatt, which was not good. It's unfortunate how many bad feuds Bray Wyatt is in, because I love the guy, but I mean, they just butcher him so far. But out of the three of these guys, I see Seth Rollins winning it. Seth Rollins at this point, I don't think they're going to push him back up to the top of the card. At least this year, he's definitely going to go back up there within some point in time. But I don't see it happening this year. I think he's going to be that workhorse, having the Intercontinental title. I think it fits him really well. I can see him and Finn Balor having great Intercontinental title matches, as they always have when they wrestle. I see The Miz after WrestleMania, or at least after the Raw, after Mania. I see him leaving and, attending to his family, his newborn baby, which is great, because as The Miz is great, it's always nice when they get a little break off and then come back. It makes you miss them that much more. So for this match, I am definitely going for Seth Rollins. On to the other mid-card title match. We have the U.S. title match, which I did not care about for a while until Rusev got added in it. It is the Fatal 4-Way between Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Jinder Mahal, and Rusev. Now, these four guys, how should I say this? These four guys are all really good wrestlers. Probably besides Jinder Mahal. I'm not a Jinder Mahal hater. He's not a great wrestler. I do like his character. I say that. They were able to build him up pretty well. And while I wasn't a huge fan of his WWE title reign, they were able to build him up to a credible threat. As I said before, I did not really care for this match a couple weeks ago when it was just a three-way. Randy Orton used to be my favorite wrestler. I say from 2004 to about 2009, 2010, Randy Orton was my #1 favorite wrestler. Something happened after that where he just became really stale to me, and he still is really stale. I don't know if that's because he's a babyface. I think Randy Orton works so much better as a heel, and I just wish he turned heel. He's a better talker. And the thing about Randy Orton that kind of confuses me sometimes, he's such a great wrestler, but he doesn't always go at 100% speed. You can tell when he's kind of slacking off in a match. I believe he'll do good now, being that it's WrestleMania, even though last WrestleMania, his match with Bray Wyatt was, in my opinion, the worst match of last year's WrestleMania. It was so bad, and I loved both of them. And I mean, Bray Wyatt should have won that match, but that's a whole nother story. I'll have a video on that at some point in time. As for Bobby Roode, he's another guy who I loved in TNA and also NXT. He also should be a heel. He works so much better as a heel. His talking, his character is to be bragging and is to be kind of an egomaniac with the whole glorious thing. I know the term glorious and the entrance music got over with the crowd, but that is more so of a heel thing, for him to say he is glorious. And that song, when you hear it, that's just such a smarmy heel song. And I just feel like he works so much better as a heel. As for Jinder Mahal, as I said before, I'm not a huge fan of his, but he is a good character. Not that really great of a wrestler, but he has a really good presence about him, whether it be the physique or the look. He has that to him, and he's not that bad on the mic. It's just sometimes the material that they give him is not enough. And for Rusev is the man. Whether it be when he first debuted, became US champion with Lana, I think him and Lana were great together. I know the crowd really started loving Lana, but I don't believe they should have ever broke them up. They should have teased it, but always kept them together, because when they did break up, we all know how that storyline went with Dolph Ziggler. And what was it? Summer Rae, I believe it was. It was just terrible. I mean, just completely forgettable. I don't know why they did that. I believe that's why they paired them back up after that. And Rusev is a guy that, for some reason, I don't know what it is backstage, they never give him a good enough push. Rusev, while he started out as US champion, became US champion a couple times, he's a guy I see that should be more in the main event scene. He has the look, he has the talking skill, he has the physique, he has everything. He can be someone who's funny, he can be someone who's intense, he has a great finisher. He has all those things, but for some reason, they just don't get behind him that much, and they don't give him that push. I'm hoping that Rusev wins this match. I don't see it. I think they kind of threw him in to kind of throw him and us fans a bone, so we kind of care about the match, because with him in the match, I definitely care way more than I did before. I honestly see Jinder Mahal winning this match, just because Vince McMahon wants him to be a champion. I know they want him to be that foreign heel champion. And with him having the US title, I believe that will bring a lot of heat. In my heart, though, I'm hoping that Rusev wins it. I'm just going to keep my finger crossed there. I don't see it happening, but I'm going to be rooting for him for sure. Now for the women's title match, I'll start off first with the Raw women's title match, which is Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. This is a match that the build for it has been really iffy. I mean, you have them being best friends. I believe it was last year, there was a point where Nia Jax turned on Alexa Bliss. They completely swept that under the rug. I remember like 2 weeks later, they were just best friends again, never mentioned it. That was a little odd, and for some reason I cannot forget that. So that kind of taints the feud for me. I just can't forget that they had a 2-week breakup, and then out of nowhere, without any explanation, they're best friends again. That really sucked, and that kind of takes out some of the steam for me. But other than that, I think the build up to this feud has been a little iffy. You have a good side where obviously Alexa Bliss is the heel. She throws Nia Jax, her best friend, under the bus. The only part I don't like about it is the whole fat shaming thing. It's just like WWE going to the well once again with, oh, let's just make her a heel and do the whole fat shaming thing. They did this a couple times with Vicky Guerrero and Mickie James. Of course, they had the whole Picky James thing, several years back. And it's just weird now to see Mickie James with Alexa Bliss doing the whole fat shaming thing. It's kind of off-putting. But besides that, this is a match I am looking forward to. I think it should be a good match. I see Nia Jax winning this one without a doubt. If she doesn't win, it kind of takes the sales out of her win. You have someone like Nia Jax who always makes it to the big match but doesn't win it, whether it be for the women's title or against Asuka. You have her being built up as a babyface. This is a perfect WrestleMania moment for her, being built up as the babyface. Take down the heel. She can even squash her, and I believe that would go over well with the fans, and I believe it would be believable. On to the SmackDown Women's Title match. This is one of the main matches that I'm looking forward to watching. It is the champion Charlotte versus Asuka, who is undefeated. So championship versus streak. This match should be really great. While these two are great wrestlers, the build-up for this match has just not been that good. They should have had way more of an angle going for them, or at least more bad blood. Something, I know it's a face versus face match, and you can't have too much of that in this kind of dynamic. But still, the build-up to this match wasn't that great. You had a long time. You had at least a month to build this up. But in regards to the match, it should be great. I think the streak is something that could last for a lot longer, maybe until next year's WrestleMania. If they break it this year, I believe it's just in New Orleans. They just want to break all the streaks whenever they go to New Orleans. So if it gets broken, that is why. Now we know whenever they're going back to New Orleans for WrestleMania, a streak of some sort is going to be broken. This match should be really good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping they get at least, within 15 to 20 minutes to actually tell us a nice story. And I'm going to say that Asuka is winning this. I don't see them breaking the streak right now. And if they did, I think it'd be a mistake. I think this has a lot more legs on it. I see them having a couple more matches at the next pay-per-views. And I still see Asuka retaining. And then maybe Charlotte goes over to Raw. Or we'll see what they do from there. Now for the tag match with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. This is a match that I'm definitely looking forward to. One of the top, I'd say, 3 matches that I'm looking forward to. Being that I love I'd say all 4. I mean, Shane McMahon for me has really been annoying the past 2 years, always being on SmackDown and stuff like that. It's just, I kind of want him to go away for a little bit. I think that'd be good for his character and just good for us overall. But Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn, they're all great. And Shane McMahon to an extent too. We can all rag at him all we want for his wrestling skills, but every time he's in a match, it always performs and he always does his best. But this is a match that I'm really looking forward to. It's great to see Daniel Bryan back in the ring. I was happy to see that he's back, obviously, but I'm also scared of him getting injured again. I love that he's able to wrestle and stuff, but I don't want to be that person that is rushing him to wrestle just for my entertainment purposes. I want him to be safe as well as I want to be entertained. But if they say he's good to go, then he's good to go. That's a match I'm definitely looking forward to. The build to this match it's been kind of clunky. This has been building ever since SummerSlam, at least with Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. And then Sami Zayn jumping into the fray, and then Daniel Bryan jumping into the fray. It seemed as if this was going to be leading to a Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon match. At this year's Mania, they had like a 2-month period where they just were not liking each other. There was a lot of tension. It was a really slow build. Maybe a little too slow. It got a little annoying after a while. But seeing that Daniel Bryan got cleared, they kind of made it audible and put Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan together. To pit against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who themselves were kind of having a breakup at Fastlane and just before that. I am very happy that they didn't break up. I think Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn can be a tag team at least for another 6 months to 8 months. And I believe they can have a match at next year's WrestleMania. I know we've had a ton of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn matches, but I believe if they keep them as friends for a long time, they can have that classic best friends breakup match at WrestleMania, kind of like Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho had at WrestleMania 33. But I'm glad that they're back together. As for me predicting this match, I do see Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan beating them so that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn can be fired from SmackDown. I then see them moving over to Raw, probably being in the tag team championship division and winning the tag titles, or at least competing for them. Or I can see them going up against the eventual Universal Champion in a main event feud. Just because I believe that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are so talented in the ring and on the mic and as characters that they really do deserve to have some shine, as they're having it now. I know a lot of people are talking about a possible heel turn, whether it be with Shane McMahon turning heel on Daniel Bryan or Daniel Bryan turning heel on Shane McMahon. Out of those 2 possibilities, Daniel Bryan turning on Shane McMahon definitely makes the most sense. That was how I was looking a couple weeks ago before Daniel Bryan got cleared to wrestle. Me personally, I would love to see Daniel Bryan turn on Shane McMahon. As I mentioned before, Shane McMahon has been on TV for a little too long for my taste. I believe that Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn can be a great three-man heel stable, which is something we're kind of missing now with heel stables. Me growing up, I love heel stables if they're done well. If they're not done well and you make them look weak, then, I mean, what's the point of doing it? They look like a bunch of jobbers out there. But if it's done well, and I believe with Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens, those are all great three workers and all great three characters that can be done really well, and I can see them really taking a hold over SmackDown for the next year. The only thing that makes me feel like they won't do that is that Daniel Bryan just got cleared to wrestle, and he is so over with the fans. I don't think that they want to turn him heel right now, whether it be through the merchandise or the characters. They know they have a lot of money on their hands when it comes to Daniel Bryan. And it would be kind of a weird move for him to be such a huge babyface in his first match back and then turning heel. They kind of shoot themselves in the foot. But for me, I think it will turn out really great and I will love it. On to the other big tag match of the night, which is Triple H and Stephanie McMahon taking on Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey. Now, this match, I know, or I'm sure, was originally supposed to be Triple H and Stephanie McMahon versus Ronda Rousey and The Rock. That was established in WrestleMania 31 a couple years ago. Obviously, The Rock, being the huge movie star that he is always busy and was not able to do this match. I think Kurt Angle is a great sub-in for him. I love Kurt Angle. He's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Unfortunately, the past couple matches that he has been in this year, I believe it was a TLC match and the Survivor Series match, they protected him a lot in those matches, to the point where it looked like Kurt Angle didn't have anything left in those matches. He was working really slow, and you could really see the age on him. I'm hoping, being that it's WrestleMania, they kind of take those chains off of him and let him be a little more active in the ring and don't be so... I mean, obviously you still want to be safe with him, and Triple H is a safe wrestler, so it's good that those two are going to be in the ring together. But I'm hoping that they let Kurt Angle do a little bit more and let him be a little bit more free out there, so you can still see that he does have it. Because I do believe that deep down he does still have one or two great matches left in him. I mean, he's Kurt Angle. He can, have a great match in his sleep, no matter what age he is. As for Ronda Rousey, I know a lot of people have been hating on her for, her past month or month and a half on the roster. The main issue right now with Ronda Rousey, I believe, is just her mic work. It's her promos. And I believe that's something that they're going to need to fix. Now, I don't blame Ronda Rousey. I'm sure if you're in the middle of that ring with 15 to 20,000 people staring at you, it can be tough to remember your lines or deliver them correctly. I believe that they've given her some good lines. It's just her delivery on them have just not been good. And it's consistently not been good. Now, I think she's going to do really good in WWE. I still believe in that. But I do believe that they're going to have to work around her talking skills. I don't know if it's going to get too much better, but I know in the near future they're going to need to get somebody to work with Ronda Rousey, whether it be on talking or just get someone to talk for her. A couple of her moves have seemed really stiff, like her blocking and stuff like that. That's something that comes within time. I'm sure she's been training a lot, but her blocking and stuff like that, it just doesn't look good. We all know wrestling is fake, but it looks way too fake. It looks way too choreographed. Her body slamming and stuff like that is good. Her selling is okay, but her blocking and stuff like that's the only thing that really needs to improve. As for Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, of course, they are both great heels. Triple H is a legend. Someone is speeding outside. I don't know why. That's dangerous. Don't do that. But those two, of course, going back to the late 90s, early 2000s, have been a great duo. In this match, I believe their place is just to make Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey, specifically Ronda Rousey, look good. So I am predicting for Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey to win this match. If they do not, then that would shock me. I mean, once again, you never know with Triple H at WrestleMania. He beat Sting a couple years ago when everyone thought that Sting would be winning. So you never know with Triple H, but I believe Triple H really believes in Ronda Rousey and wants her to do good, as well as Vince McMahon. He sees the money there. So I definitely see Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle picking up the victory here. Now on to the title matches. First, we have AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. This match is a match that a lot of people have been looking forward to. This match, of course, was done a couple years back at Wrestle Kingdom over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That was a great match. So ever since AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura both stepped foot in WWE, everybody's been looking forward to this match to take place. I myself being one of those people. I was really happy for Shinsuke Nakamura when he won the Royal Rumble, just because in the previous months before that, they really took the steam out of his debut on the main roster. Whether it be his first feud with Dolph Ziggler that really underperformed, I mean, I don't know why you put him with Dolph Ziggler to start off with, or his title feud with Jinder Mahal. Having Jinder Mahal beat Shinsuke Nakamura at SummerSlam was just such a classic Vince McMahon move. In a negative light, it's not. Once that happened, I was like, I know Vince McMahon, he's gonna want to stick it to the fans, and just have Jinder Mahal, who no one liked at that point, beat Shinsuke Nakamura, who everyone liked at that point. So ever since then, Shinsuke Nakamura has kind of died down. His momentum came to a halt until he won the Royal Rumble. That shows you that they did believe in him, and that gave him a lot of momentum that he had lost earlier that summer. So AJ Styles, he is my favorite wrestler at the moment. His wrestling skills, in my opinion, are the best, bar none, in the whole industry. His talking skills have really improved ever since he first came into the company. I believe it was January 2016. And he has just proved himself to be one of the main stars in the whole company. Us wrestling fans, we always knew that, but you never know with Vince McMahon and WWE brass and if they're going to believe him. But he has showed them and really proven himself to them. So I'm really happy for the spot that he is in, and happy that he is now able to have that WrestleMania title match that he so deserves. As for these two, I'm expecting a classic. I'm really hoping they get about 20 to 25 minutes to really flesh out their story. As long as they're given that time, I have all the confidence in the world that they're going to have a great match. I'm just hoping that it is not rushed because there's so many matches on this card. As for my prediction in this match, I see Shinsuke Nakamura beating AJ Styles and becoming the new WWE Champion, which I believe would be the right move. AJ Styles at this point is so over and is such an established star that he doesn't really need the title, even though of course we love him having the title. Shinsuke Nakamura is someone who has had on and off pushes ever since coming to the main roster. With losing to Jinder Mahal and then really losing momentum to then winning the Royal Rumble and getting that momentum back. If he were to go into this big match and then lose it again, he loses that momentum again. And while he would still be in a better place than he was before winning the Royal Rumble, I believe he does need to win that big match on WrestleMania to really establish himself as a top star in the eyes of the casual fans. So I definitely see Shinsuke Nakamura going over in this match. Now on to the main event of this WrestleMania. It is Roman Reigns versus the Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar. This match, last year, we knew this match was happening. We all resented it. It's the same match that happened in WrestleMania 31, which had a terrible build. I remember the whole tug of war over the championship. Man, that was cringy, and that was when I first came back into wrestling. I fell off for a couple years. But I remember the tug of war for the championship, and I thought to myself, what the hell is this? This is terrible. I know why these people don't like Roman Reigns. But us knowing that this match was going to happen over a year ago, we kind of all resented it, but kind of took it because we know it was going to happen no matter what. Vince McMahon being stubborn and stuff. The first couple weeks of the build-up was really good with Brock Lesnar not showing up and Roman Reigns really calling him out on that. It did paint Roman Reigns as a babyface and a leader of the locker room, which was working really well. The past couple weeks have been kind of a little iffy with Roman Reigns always just getting beat up. I wish they just would have kept Brock Lesnar off of TV. That would have built more heat and would have really showed that he doesn't care about the business and is just there for his money. Now, I myself am not a huge Roman Reigns fan, but I do not dislike Roman Reigns. I know a lot of people out there hate every single thing that he does. I do not. Now, Roman Reigns still needs some mic work and his character still needs some tinkering and some work done to it, but his matches are always on point and he does put on really good matches. Besides his match last year against The Undertaker, which I don't believe was fully his fault, and speaking of The Undertaker, I'll bring him up in a little bit. But in this build, I believe they did really well, or at least sort of well, with building him up as the babyface. Not many people like Brock Lesnar. At this point, I'm not a huge Lesnar fan. If he was a part-timer without the championship, okay, sure, that's fine. Bring him in for the big matches. But with him being champion, you can really feel him being a part-timer. I like the championship being defended on every single pay-per-view. It really adds to the pay-per-view. So whenever Brock Lesnar isn't there, it's really a red flag and shows that, he's just not that welcome there anymore, at least for me. And now if Brock Lesnar was a part-timer and every time he had a match, it was a great match, okay, that'd be okay because it made it a special occasion. But that's the other thing. Brock Lesnar, ever since the WrestleMania 31 match a couple years ago, ever since he did the whole Suplex City thing, he's just been a suplexing machine. And it's not entertaining. The first couple times, it was entertaining. It was like, okay, look at him just destroy someone with German suplexes. But ever since then, you can see he's just become really lazy with his in-ring work. And he can do so much more in the ring. I remember his first run in 2002 to 2004. His in-ring work and his matches were great. He put on great matches against Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero, tons of different people. But now his matches are just so one-dimensional that I just don't really care to see his matches that much anymore. Now, as I brought up Undertaker earlier, I'm just going to talk a little bit about the whole Undertaker-John Cena dynamic slash feud slash maybe match that they're having at WrestleMania. I don't think that they're going to have a match. I think if they do have a match, that'd be great, and I'll watch it, and that's something I look forward to. Some people are iffy on this match. They really don't care for it, or some people are really looking forward to it. I'm someone who is looking forward to it. While yes, I agree if it happened 4 to 5 years ago, it'd be a much better match and actually a really good match. I believe the story is still there with John Cena wanting his WrestleMania match and really laying into The Undertaker, calling him out. With him calling out The Undertaker the way he did, that showed me that this match is going to have to happen at some point or another. Whether it be at this year's Mania or whether it be at next year's Mania, they are going to have to wrestle because no one talks about The Undertaker that way and has no repercussions. Now, I do believe that The Undertaker is going to appear on this show. I think that they're going to cut away a lot of times to John Cena being a quote-unquote fan. He's going to have front row seats and everything, which could be kind of cheesy, but also work out throughout the show. I believe you can have some funny bits and stuff like that. It'll be a reoccurring theme throughout the show, which is actually really cool and stuff I liked. Kind of a throwback to the old Attitude Era stuff that they used to do at WrestleManias with like the recurring themes with the Hardcore Championships and stuff like that. So I think that would be a nice recurring theme. I believe at some point John Cena is probably going to come in the ring, cut another promo, and then be cut off by The Undertaker. Some people are saying Undertaker's going to come back as the American Badass, or he's just going to come back as Taker. Me personally, I don't mind either way. If he came back as the American Badass, that's okay because it seems like he retired his character last year. But for the casual fans who don't know too much about the American Badass Taker, just because it was like, a 3-year run, they may be a little confused by it. Me personally, I wouldn't really care. I would like to see him come back as, just the original Undertaker, just because I think that formula works so much better with him and John Cena. I see them just having a face-off, though, and them teasing a match for next year's Mania, which some people may be down as a negative on, but I think would be okay. I know Undertaker would be 1 year older, but it would give him a whole nother year to rest up for this match, which should be his last WrestleMania match. And as long as they integrate that storyline slowly but surely throughout the next year, I believe that would work out well. Once again, comment below letting me know if you're watching this year's WrestleMania. If you are, let me know what matches you are looking forward to, and also drop your predictions down there. I will be reviewing WrestleMania this year and rating each match and then the show as a whole. I'm pretty confident it will be a good one, but then again, with WrestleMania, you never know. So until next time, my name is Ron, and I predicted something.